Our school systems teach us nothing about money, nothing. It's pathetic. You know, they have financial literacy courses today. Well, that's not financial education. You know, it's really pathetic. And what's happening for most people today is, you know, they follow that age-old mantra, go to school. What do you learn about money in school? Nothing. Get a job. Well, jobs are disappearing. Not only that, is that with artificial intelligence and G5 coming, more jobs are going to be wiped out. Plus, with driverless cars, more jobs are getting wiped out. So why would you go to school to get a job? Our school system is so fake. And as you know, taxes are going to keep going up, sports fans. They have to. Somebody's going to pay off this massive mountain of debt stacking up all over the world. And the only way they pay off debt is via taxes. Debt is money. Please understand me. In 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, money became debt. And then they tell you to get out of debt. Oh, God. I don't trust college professors. They're poor people with a degree. We're in the biggest change in world history now. Like this is August 2023. They just had the BRICS meeting.
Right.
And I went to a rich kid's school, mostly white kids. So I kept wondering, how come one race is rich? Why is one race poor? Same as India. You had all the same white people here who took all the land and resources and all that. I smelled a rat, and I thought the rat was school. And I kept asking my teachers, when am I going to learn about money? And they gave me this bullshit. The love of money is the root of all evil. But that was their way of preventing me from getting rich, by telling me if I wanted to get rich, I wasn't going to go to heaven. So if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I said, I don't work for money, I work for gold and silver. I do not save dollars. I use debt to buy real estate. This, the rupee, the peso, the yen, the yuan. He says, never work for this. And so that's kind of where the whole thing started. But being 10 years old, I was more confused now. So I had to work for Rich Dad, and finally I started to understand things. Like I'd work for free. He'd play Monopoly with me. So I'm going, why am I playing Monopoly? He says, because you're learning to be rich. I said, I'm playing Monopoly, so you learn to be rich. And so I played Monopoly and got home. My poor dad said, what you been doing all day? You been studying? I said, no, I've been playing Monopoly. Oh, what a waste of time. Do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you don't get good grades, you won't get a good job.
Right.
So I'm going, I'm so confused. And then one day I asked my rich dad, I said, why am I playing Monopoly? He goes, see all those properties out there? That's my real green houses. I said, what? He says, those, I play Monopoly for real, in real life. I go, do what? Because he never went to school either. He played Monopoly. The idea of Monopoly is to trade up from green houses to red hotels using debt. Everything is opposite of what those school teachers will teach you. They own oil wells, just like Mr. Tata.
Okay.
We own oil wells in Texas, Louisiana, North Dakota. I pay no taxes legally, and I save gold and silver. And since I was a little boy, I've been saving so much gold and silver. I now own the richest gold mine in America. It's called the Trixie, but it's on the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.
It's OCD, call sign. So I only work for real money, which is gold and silver. The most important asset you have is this. I meet so many people today, I can tell they're either second or third generation.
Right.
They're really pretty, they got their Gucci clothes on, they got the cars and all this. Second generation, nothing up here. So all these people who go to school to get a job and they save money and they invest in the stock market, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I don't touch any of that stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I don't have to.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur. Employees have to save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. My poor dad. I'm an entrepreneur. I buy the gold mine. I get the gold.
Right.
Most employees cannot buy the gold mine.
Right.
I buy the silver mine. I buy the real estate. I buy the hotels.
Right.
I am a capitalist. I am an entrepreneur. So my poor dad always says, stay out of debt. My rich dad said, use debt. You see, everything is opposite. And that's why most school teachers, I don't listen to them. So I was selling oil in Trump for $30 US a barrel. Biden came to office, oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel. I knew immediately what that communist was doing. He was making oil so expensive, it would wipe out the middle class. So today in America, I see the poor middle class people, they're pumping gas, they cannot feed their kids and all this. And Biden then says, well, it's Putin's fault. And Americans are so stupid, they believe them. But Biden, as I said, is just Obama's third term as president, okay? And you look at all that, I'm going, holy moly. So India is right in between all this right now. So the big shift, I'm not taking sides, it's Russia, China versus America, Europe. And so basically it's, if they go to gold, American dollar's gone. The Chinese are threatening to shift the yuan to gold. And if they do that, US dollar collapses. This is trash.
Right.
If that happens, America goes. So the rich know how to use debt to get rich. And that's what I do. My friend Donald Trump, I know some of you hate the guy, more power to you, you know. But we use debt as money. And other guys will tell you get out of debt. Well, you choose. The rich use debt to get rich, and the poor and middle class get wiped out because they're in debt. That's because of the lack of financial education. And I tell you to invest for the long term in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. The key word in there is invest for the long term. Why would you invest for the long term when they're printing trillions of dollars and ZIRP, zero interest rate policy, they're paying you nothing for your money? So that's why I've been saying it's commodities, silver and gold. This today is about $35 US. So being a capitalist, I own gold mines and I own silver mines. So when the dollar crashes, I get richer. It's going to happen now. It's happening right now. America is sliding into depression right now. How I said, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But it's Russia, China versus America right now. It's the biggest battle in history going on today. And the dollar is going to lose. What's the difference between entrepreneur and employee? And my poor dad said, well, an entrepreneur has to know about money. I said, yeah. And what about an employee like you? He says, I have a job. And then I started to hear it. Go to school, get a job. School's lying to me. He says, never. This is what keeps people poor. The idea of monopoly is to trade up from green houses to red hotel using debt. Everything is opposite of what those school teachers will teach you. See, everything is opposite. We're capitalists. We're not economists. We're not professors. We don't have college degrees. Most of my friends don't have college degrees. It's like I'd never play soccer. I'm a rugby player. You got to find the game you want to play. Soccer is too. Rugby players. You got to find the game you want to play. Your job is to educate yourself. The schools are not going to do that for you.